Well, all right. How do you get out of your own way? That's going to be our theme for today. How do you get out of your own way? Well, you might be thinking, well, what do you mean? I'm not in my own way. We often think that in life, don't we? We often think we've got it made. In fact, that's the problem, is we think we've got it made and, yeah, no, I'm a rugged individualist. I'm an individual. I got this. I got this. Yeah, no, I don't need any help. I got this. I'm good. I'm good. We tell ourselves this in many different ways. We tell other people this in many different ways. So here on the spiritual path, we discover inevitably, we discover all of the methods that we've used and are currently using to impede our own progress, to block our own happiness. In other words, to block the awareness of love's presence, to block our awareness of who we really are. We're interposing all of these. We're the ones placing these obstacles to our awareness of truth. And here on the spiritual path, the adult path, we have no choice in the end but to see this, look at it, and accept that, oh, yeah, I have been doing this to myself. Now, this is what happens on the path. Isn't that exciting? Actually, it is exciting because when we have the honesty to take a look at this, that's when true healing becomes possible. Until then, if we're not aware of what we're doing, how can anyone in any walk of life, not just spirituality, but anything in life, how can we expect someone to solve any kind of an issue or a problem if they're not even aware that it exists? And there's no way here on the path, happily, that we can dance around any of this. We're in our own way. Spirituality is about recognizing this and learning to get out of our own way. Sounds simple, is simple, very simple. But here in the world, we complicate it so it seems difficult. It seems hard. Well, that's us getting in our own way. So how does this happen? Paragraphs 4 and 5, chapter 2, part 1 of the text. We looked at 1 through 3, paragraphs 1 through 3 yesterday. Today, paragraphs 4 and 5. Well, we get in our own way by thinking that we can run the show, by thinking that we created ourselves, which we didn't, and that we got this. Yeah, we got this. We're going to order and orchestrate this world, and everything's going to be great, isn't it? It's going to be brilliant, beautiful, fantastic, and orgasmic. It's going to be a constant well of pleasure and good fortune with no interruptions. Why? Because we got this. I'm going to order this and manipulate it. I'm going to do this, and it's going to be cool. This is what we effectively tell ourselves. That doesn't work out, does it? Is your happiness constant, as in constant, everlasting, and permanent? When you honestly assess this, you have to answer that no, it's not. Because nothing in this world lasts. A beautiful meal is soon over, even if you sit down to the table with some beautiful wine and multiple courses and great conversation. Even if you're there for 2 or 3 hours, Everyone still gets up and leaves. Relationships end, work arrangements, beautiful jobs and careers, and this ends. Everything in the world is impermanent. Everything, everything. We experience when we get attached to all of this stuff, including this, we experience a sense of loss because of this impermanence. Now, getting attached to it is the same as making it real. In so many ways, this course has actually as much in common with Buddhism as it does with the Judeo-Christian traditions, if not more. We're talking non-attachment here. Participating in the world, but not according it reality, is what's referred to in Eastern traditions as non-attachment. The Course tells us right here that all fear, all anxiety, all sense of frustration or disappointment comes from our belief that we can usurp the power of God. In other words, that we can do a better job of creation than he can, that we've got this. We don't need anybody. It's us against the world. And we're going to order and orchestrate and arrange everything just so perfectly. And when, not if, but when that doesn't work out, we experience what we call suffering, disappointment, frustration, sometimes fear. And sometimes it results in out and out attack and warfare in extreme cases. That's how fear results. And what do we do about it? Well, we accept atonement for ourselves. We accept that this perceived separation never happened. We accept that ideas leave not their source. You've never left your source. I've never left my source. In other words, we've never left our one source. Ever, which means oneness, perfect oneness. We accept atonement for ourselves. That's our release from fear. Now, atonement is a word that's used in a particular way here in A Course in Miracles, and in common parlance in the world, it means other things sometimes, depending on the context. One way you can look at it is acceptance that the separation never occurred. In fact, it's impossible. It never occurred. Atonement can be equated with healing as well, if that's helpful to you. Accepting atonement is our release from fear. And it's an acknowledgement, isn't it, that we can't arrange everything just so. We can't of ourselves create perfect, lasting, constant happiness. Hot, sexy lover comes and goes. The beautiful meal ends. Our jobs end. Right? Everything in the world is impermanent. Reality is constant. It's eternal. And it's another way of looking at the famous phrase, of myself, I can do nothing. So true. When I let the individual ego run the show, nothing happens but suffering. We might feel great for a little while, but it doesn't last. It doesn't last. The world is just a constant changing, shifting illusion. It's one appearance after another. And here on the path, we're invited to, well, take as much time as we need, but accept that this is not our reality. It's not our reality. So the miracle, any shift from fear to love, from the ego to God, from dark to light, the miracle has the power, inherent power, to heal all lies, all untruths. There is no order of difficulty in miracles. This course comes right out and says that right at the start. There is no order of difficulty in miracles, which means the miracle can heal everything and does heal everything. There's nothing that it can't do. And peace, which ultimately, deep down, we're all seeking, is not to be found outside of ourselves. It's within us. It's who and what we really are. It's naturally that is within us. It's not to be found in anything outside. How do you know that this is true? Well, nothing external, as we put it, external, nothing in the world that appears outside of us lasts. It doesn't last. So if you're enduring a challenging time, that's not going to last. Similarly, if you're enjoying relative peace and quiet and comfort, that's not going to last either. If it's dependent on the world that appears outside of us, it's not going to last. That's the effect. The cause is our mind. This is where the course operates. This is why we're invited repeatedly to accept atonement for ourselves, to accept healing for ourselves, to accept that the separation never took place. Indeed, it's impossible. It never, ever occurred. Accepting this is how we get out of our own way. It's how we get out of our own way. So practically, what do? Get in touch with your inner teacher. And if it helps you to repeat the idea that of myself, I can do nothing, that is, it's very true, isn't it? It's very helpful. We need the guidance, we need the help and assistance of our inner teacher. You need the help of your guide or guides. When we ask for this help, we learn something really valuable. We learn to relax and trust, and this is a way of setting the ego aside. The ego thinks it can run the show. The ego is this voice that we all have that says, yeah, no, I got this. I don't need help. I don't need help with this. I got this. I'm going to arrange this all myself, and it's going to be cool until it's not. But it's setting this false sense of self to the side and asking your higher self, your inner teacher, self with a capital S, to run the show. And what we do here on the path is we learn to relax and trust. This is one way that we undo the ego, is allow our inner teacher to take control. It's totally beneficial, and we're learning to relax and trust in the eternal love and strength of our inner teacher, who is a part of us, self with a capital S. The more we do it, the more we find that we're in what we call in life a state of flow, of ease, where even if you're engaged in quite a bit of work as the world sees it, it feels natural. There's no contradiction at all. There's no conflict. While you're in the moment, there's no questioning yourself or questioning how effective you are, or how many people you're going to reach, or how much money you're going to make in the process. You're relaxing and trusting your inner teacher. You're relaxing and trusting your self with a capital S, your higher self. That's what's going on as we get out of our own way. And if you're experiencing this in any way, or if you have experienced it, you will know how beautiful and peaceful and wonderful it is. So yes, continue to practice true forgiveness, but let's also place some attention on this really important idea of undoing the ego by getting out of our own way and letting our inner teacher run the show, and also to direct our forgiveness. It's a powerful prayer to utter, isn't it? Please direct my forgiveness. Yeah, so beautiful. So beautiful. All right, the subscription button's down here. That's the red arrow. I'd love to have you. And what I'm offering here is A Course in Miracles and my experience with it. There are so many videos here already on this video series, and we're only going to keep going. So wherever you're joining me from, welcome. I welcome questions and comments, so please feel welcome to leave those, and definitely please hit that subscription button as well. I'd love to have you here. And it doesn't make any difference what your spiritual background is, whether you follow a traditional world religion or something else, or a group of different practices. That's entirely possible as well. Or it could be that you're simply exploring what's out there. So whatever you have encountered here, there's a reason why you're watching. And what I invite you to do is sit with that and think about it in this way. What am I supposed to get out of this today? Because it may be that you end up studying A Course in Miracles, or maybe you don't, but there's something of value no matter what your background is here. This is a universal self-study curriculum. So I know a number of you are longtime students of this course, and if that's you, it's helpful, isn't it, as adult learners, to hear everything again and again from different people, right, on different days, because who knows, right? Who knows when we're going to hear something that's going to utterly and completely positively change the trajectory of our lives. So hopefully I've said something that has had that impact on you. All right. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you again very soon.